All right.
163?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Belief Mel.
And we're here with episode 163 of How Married.
63?
You just said 163. Hello, my name is Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Belief Mel.
And we're here with episode 163 of
How Married Are You? Okay, my name Belief. This is Yvette, and we've been married
12 years.
Live in California. We got
4 kids.
Relationships scary. It's very necessary. We share our love struggles. We ask
How married are you?
Every Tuesday and Thursday, shawty. If you're listening, you're in the wedding party. It's okay if you want to put your hands up. You got the questions. We got the answers.
It's chocolate baby story time.
Chocolate baby story time.
It's chocolate baby story time.
1, 2, 3, and...
It's chocolate baby story time.
You go. All right, I'll go. So, we were in a car driving up to our event. We go to Chick-fil-A. We stop and get some food. You get yourself an orange juice. Uzi goes, is that orange juice for me? You say, nah, it's for me, but you can have a sip. And I said, don't give him a sip of your orange juice. Leave that man alone. You forgot to get him an orange juice. He don't get one. Mom had to be mom, so you sacrifice for your kids. Isn't that sweet? No. No, it's not sweet. You give him the orange juice. Homeboy takes the orange juice. We get all the way up to L.A. Get to Target because we had to make a stop anyway. Good thing we had to stop. Uzi spills the orange juice all over himself. Now, when we were driving up, Yvette was like, I really wish I had my orange juice. But she had to make, I told her, I was like, you got to make the kid's life 3% better to make your life 15% worse. Those little things that we get, the orange juice, the little things, they're small things, but they mean a lot to us. It's not always we get to get the simple orange, right? But you had to be that mom. Uzi ended up spilling it all over himself and wasting most of it. He didn't even drink it.
He did.
I saw, I didn't give it back to him. After he spilled it, he didn't get it back.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me. What about you?
Remember how when we were kids, we used to play punch buggy?
Punch buggy, no punch bag.
Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, our kids have, taken that game up a notch.
What?
Now they're not looking for punch buggy. They're not looking for, what are those things called? Beetles? Beetles?
Uh-huh.
They're looking for Teslas.
And they punch each other when they see a Tesla?
I don't know about the punch, but I'm just thinking, I was listening to them in the back of the car the other day, and I was like, these kids be looking for Teslas like we be looking for punch, what are those cars called?
Beetles?
They're called a Beetle?
No, Volkswagen Beetles.
Volkswagen Beetle, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
And I also have another question. Oh, shoot.
Allergy attack.
The question I was going to ask is, are you concerned about our children's music taste or their taste in music? Because I am.
Okay.
And I want them to have a diverse taste in music, but I'm not the one to give them that.
Oh, gosh.
I don't.
Go.
No, listen.
Here we go.
I don't want my children to be, I just feel like,
Yeah.
I don't want them to be those people.
What you mean? What people?
I don't want them to be another version of me, babe. I need them to be like you in this area. And I feel like, okay, I want them to, I'm realizing this is where my control issues come into play, because I don't want them listening to, because sometimes they sing lyrics and I'm like, where'd you hear that at? Or they ask me to play a song and I'm like, what? And they're like, Dad. And I'm like, now they don't be in the car with you that much without me.
Right.
So for them to be knowing certain songs is
What
kind of
songs?
I don't even know. I
The
can't even tell
Fugees,
you.
Ready or Not, because that's the one they like.
I don't know, but there was another one that when I went on my retreat, you was playing for them. That was
yeah.
bad.
I was just down bad.
What?
Yeah, I love that song.
So,
JID.
you want me to go close the door?
No, I already asked Jordan to do it.
Yeah. So, I feel like that's your like.
Hey, yo, can somebody close the podcast room door, please? Thank you.
I feel like that is your responsibility as a DJ, as a hip hop
DJ
artist.
no more.
I mean, but you have a wide array, and I was just in a bubble, so I'm not the one.
Yeah,
But I want them to be cool and know
are
songs.
cool. Our
I mean,
kids are cool.
Okay, they are cool, but I need them to be cool in that area. They need to have a wider. They need to have a better. What am I trying to say? Catalog of music that they listen to, and you are the one. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not a parent, I feel like sometimes
It's a lot of pressure to put on me.
No, yeah, it's all you. I got them. They got the worship music.
You need to. I'm gonna be honest with you.
What?
The worship music is too much. You need to. I mean, like every morning, it has to be that same.
Amen.
Every morning, it has to be that. Like
yeah.
you don't ever like yearn for like some soul, some Motown.
Yes, I do.
And so,
but not in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, because
not first thing in the morning. Because I need Jesus.
What version of Jesus, though? You're not even listening to the gospel version. You listening to like...
Yeah. I need the slow, contemporary Christian.
Yeah. See, we don't jive like that. Because even if you did Kirk Franklin, it would at least teach him more rhythm. Or some Marvin Sapp, or Fred Hammond, or Mary, like something else, Ty Tribbett, like it would give him a little bit more. But you be listening to it's like...
Because I'm trying to usher the Holy Spirit into the room. Not to say that those like, other artists can't do that.
You know Negro spirituals? Uh-huh. You be listening to Anglo-Saxon spirituals. Like this, like... It's like folk... It's like folk Christian music to me. It's
contemporary Christian.
I'm just saying that our kids could use a little bit more drum and bass in their system.
For me in the
just
morning,
to teach them rhythm. Just to teach them rhythm. Like, I can't do that on my own. You know, you're going to have our kids dancing to the words for all their life. Not the beat.
What? But do you hear me calling you in?
I hear you calling me in, but I just know that I can't control it all.
You know what we can have? You know how like a lot of us black people grow up and we're like, you know, it's a Saturday morning when your mom is blasting the Marvin Sapp, the Kirk Franklin, or even the what's her name's, the oldies, but music. You know, you're about to be spending the whole day cleaning because they're in their robe and blasting all that. You could be the new stereotype for the chocolate babies. You could be the dad that plays the Tribe Called Quest and on a Saturday morning and starts the dance parties.
Yeah.
You know I'm always down for a dance party.
I'll try.
All I'm saying is I'm concerned. They have to know. And you know what? I think we could do this. Actually, we could create a homeschool what you call it? We could create a lesson of the different like types of
hip hop history,
a history of hip hop, or even like starting with Negro spirituals. You know, we could do a lot.
I don't know
with
what
this.
you're talking about. I'm so sorry, I'm lost.
I definitely want them to have more of a culturally rounded catalog of music that they listen to, and I try to keep it safe as far as the music that I play around them. You know. However, I think you are more aware of where songs are going, what songs are coming up, to be able to play it around them.
Right. So
like when we're all in a car together and you're listening to songs, you will like, do that
I'll
type
edit
stuff.
the song on the fly.
Yeah. I don't have all that ability.
Yeah.
Because some songs aren't so bad, but then you're just like, oh, like I was just watching a video on my phone of me with the kids, and it was like a non-Christian song, and it said the SHIT word. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I did not even catch that at the moment.
Apparently, our kids use that word on the regular. So if they're using it, why can't they listen to it?
Not our kids, just Theo.
That's just me.
Yeah. How do we feel about our kids cussing?
I enjoy it when it's in front of me. When somebody else tells me about it, don't feel good.
It don't feel good. I feel the same way. I'm like, I do not like it, but if they use it in context correctly around me, then I'm like, and I correct them, like, don't say that word. But when someone else tells me my child used profanity, I'm like, oof, that hurts. Yeah. I feel judged.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Another chocolate baby?
No, I got my hot red. Are you? Go ahead. I can't wait.
The episode is over.
Let's finish this podcast.
All right. We have an email. Oh, I did want to say this. So we got a couple of voicemails. Now, I don't remember your name, dang it, but I got your voicemail where you were encouraging us, and something I said really resonated with you. Thank you for that voicemail. It wasn't really a question, so I'm not going to share it on here. And then we did get like a couple of other voicemails that I just don't necessarily feel like we are equipped to respond to. Specifically, one of them was about infidelity, and that's not necessarily anything that we have dealt with. And it was repetitive infidelity. And so I'm saying all this to say that some emails and some voicemails we will not necessarily be able to respond to.
Maybe not on camera, but we probably could do it off camera. Like,
I don't even know how to respond to a voicemail, honestly.
That it's talking about infidelity,
or even like to just say thank you so much for like sending these kind words. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Or I'm glad that. Or
I haven't listened to that voicemail you sent, so I'll try to listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't have anything to say.
Okay.
But basically, and then sometimes, because we are getting such an influx of emails, sometimes...
Which is great, thank you.
Yes, keep those coming. Some emails are aligned to other episodes that we have already addressed similar issues with, so we will try to do our best to like send you a link to the episode where we specifically address whatever topic it is that you guys are wanting to talk about. So I just wanted to say that as a disclaimer as I'm going into this, because sometimes I just don't want people to feel like we're ignoring them. We're definitely trying to get through them all. But yeah, love y'all. Thank you. Keep sending those. If you want to email us, you can email us at hello@howmarriedareyoupodcast.com. If you want to send us a voicemail, the phone number is
727-619-4629. 727-619-4629. A couple things we want to shout out, man. I was on the YouTube's Black Men's Recipe for Change, celebrating Black men. It was a fire episode, man. It was myself, Lil Rel, Bob the Drag Queen, Daniel Ezra, Marcus Scribner, Kendrick Sampson, Charles D. King, Everett Taylor. Everett Taylor, I got to meet him. He's the CEO of a Kickstarter. Super dope dude. And all these other men are amazing as well. Marcus Scribner is a light-skinned kid from Blackish. Jay Barnett was a dope therapist. Kwame Onwuachi. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't have even tried. But
J.J. Johnson, Richard Ingram, and even Carlos Miller's on there. Bubba Wallace, Joey Badass, and Come On Stage. Super dope. So make sure you guys check that out, man. It's on Make Spring Hill's YouTube channel. Super fire. Really proud of it. Really glad that I was a part of it, and the chefs were incredible. The food was great. So big shout out to YouTube for having me be a part of that.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to finish watching it, but I always love to hear Black men talk.
Yeah,
just around the table like that. It was really nice to be able to see that, and just to hear you guys being vulnerable and authentic with each other was beautiful.
Yeah, it was cool. Thank you. All right, babe. Let's get it. So this email was sent to us.
Yes.
And Yvette's going to read it.
Yes, we have few similarities. I'm a follower of Christ. I've been married for 13 years, have 4 children, 3 girls, 1 boy, and I'm 36 years old. Although I've been married for 13 years, that length of time doesn't equate to us having what I would call a quality relationship. What is a quality relationship? What would you describe as a quality relationship?
A relationship that, you can be intimate with. Like, there are some relationships that you have to fake it to be there. You could be yourself in this relationship. You feel freedom to express yourself. You feel freedom to maybe talk about things that you don't necessarily like, and be able to have conversation about it, converse, and get toward growth, and deep connection and support.
Okay. Currently, we are in therapy. I don't even understand why we are continuing to therapy. Or maybe it's just a therapist. I don't know. But I don't see it helping us move forward towards understanding each other better. As a matter of fact, our therapist highlighted, you're on a slow progression towards divorce. And I completely agree. I think this is where I feel stuck. My husband and I completely do not trust each other. Let me speak for myself. I do not trust my husband. I do not trust his care for me, his support for me. I do not feel safe with him emotionally or financially.
Whoa.
This is why. What's up?
I'm listening.
Oh.
That's wild.
Yeah. And so I feel like that does describe the opposite of what you just described as a quality relationship.
100%.
Yeah. I was going to say something to you guys. When she said that her therapist said, you're on a slow progression towards divorce, I was a little taken aback by that because I was like, what does that mean? Like when a therapist says it. And so I'm going to assume, for the sake of our feedback in response to this email, that the therapist is saying, if you don't change your current behaviors, you're on a slow progression towards divorce.
Yeah.
Are you going to work with that too?
I agree.
Okay. She goes on to say, whenever we get in an argument, say I have triggered him and he feels hurt, there is no mercy in his speech towards me. One recent argument, he told me to go kill myself. Now, this was the first time.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now, this was the first time he said that to me. However, this is coming after I disclosed to him I had suicidal thoughts some years ago. Or when he feels hurt by me, he'll bring up some receipts to hurt me. Men be keeping those receipts. But I guess women do too sometimes.
Wait a minute. Was that a sneak diss toward me?
No.
Because that's not written there.
It is.
Bring up receipts to hurt me. And then you said men be keeping them receipts.
Oh, yeah, I said that.
No. Yeah. But, yeah, women keep receipts too.
I said that too.
Yeah. But you just got a bad memory.
Because the mental load.
Okay.
I'm going to start writing down stuff, though. So in my mind, I'm like, dude, I can't tell you crap. I really can't be vulnerable with you. Then after the dust settles and we are discussing things, this is what happens. 1, a denial of that's not what I said. That's not what happened. Or 2, a slight deviation of I said that, but not like that. In the end, I feel he recreates the events to make himself less culpable and more victimized. Heavy sigh. Overall, I feel a disregard for my experience and a lack of accountability on his part. I also feel he gaslights and plain out lies about our situations. Because there is no visual or audio of the events, it's his word against mine. Because I do not like to harbor a situation, I usually just let it go. But I don't really let it go because it is still impacting my whole mindset of him. And mindsets impact behaviors, indeed. I really don't know how to operate in this marriage because I am a follower of Jesus. I do pray, read the word, and practice the things of God. I'll just end the story here. It's so much more I can say as this is just a bite size. I am tired. Any words of wisdom I appreciate. And so when I read this email.
Well, let me just speak something real quick.
All right.
She must be having an Android because look how big that emoji is. Y'all Android users, man. We can see y'all. We can pick y'all off from anywhere. This is crazy. All right.
My goodness.
Anyway, go ahead.
You distracted me. Do you want me to make this bigger again? So there's so much in this email, and I don't know, like, there's so much in this email. Like, it sounds like, I feel like there is some deep issues that need to be worked through, as far as he's concerned, as far as she's concerned. And there's a lot of forgiveness that probably needs to take place as well. But what I really wanted to talk about in this particular, the theme that I'm pulling out of this email is hope and a lack thereof. What I want to talk about is because I don't know if I feel like we may have, and maybe you guys have kind of just got some underlying sense of it, but I think both Glenn and actually Glenn has explicitly said that he has lacked hope in our marriage. And I, within the past, I'd say 5 years, have also experienced moments of is this it? What is really going on? Because it just feels like every time we might take 10 steps forward, we're taking 100 steps back. And it's exhausting. And to have to keep persevering and enduring and bearing all things is just, sometimes it's really hard to keep hope alive. And so what I wanted to do is spend some time talking with my husband about, because I don't know, do you have anything specifically that you'd like to use to encourage this woman?
I mean, there's a few things happening. There's there's so much with, I think this is normal in some seasons of life. But I think the hard part for me is understanding how long this has been happening for. Mm-hmm. So if this has been all 13 years, then that's strange. You know what I'm saying? If this has been the past 2 years, I can understand that. We took a huge break from the podcast because I feel like our life was literally like that. We just could not figure it out, and we couldn't talk about whatever the issues were. We didn't have the tools. We weren't given the tools to talk about the stuff that we needed to talk about yet. We had to go through some stuff with our therapist. We had to go through some things with ourselves, and then kind of get past some stuff, and then we could say, okay, this is actually how I feel. This is what I'm trying to communicate to you, or I'm not ready to communicate to you. But this seems like, just listening to this woman's perspective, because she said things that her husband said. I'm also wondering what's happening on her side with all that. You know what I'm saying? But he says, you should kill yourself. You know what I mean? Certain lines you don't cross, seems a little weird. You know what I'm saying? Toxic, but also context is everything. Because I know, in the hood, that's kind of like a, someone says oh, LeBron James is the best basketball player. Man, kill yourself. There's a joke.
I'm certain that's not the context of the situation.
I know that. But sometimes.
Sometimes what?
People can, I don't know what the context was, right? So sometimes people can over dramatize things to make it seem like it was a bad thing.
Okay, so let's have a scenario in our marriage where it is appropriate or funny or a comedic relief for you to tell me to go kill myself.
I would never say that because I've dealt with suicide, so it's not something I would say. But let's just happen to say,
if we are in an argument,
it wouldn't be an argument.
Well, it seems like that's the context of it.
Yeah.
She said, whenever we get in an argument, say I have triggered him and he feels hurt, there is no mercy in his speech.
Yeah, it's crazy.
One recent argument, he told me to go kill myself.
Right. That's
So
crazy.
is that appropriate?
No, I said it was crazy when you said it the first time.
I know, but you just said context is everything. She gave you context of an argument. That is not okay.
I just want to say that in some marriages, people talk to each other like dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like they just like, you be. You know what I'm saying? Like they talk, that's like a joke. And I know that's not the context we're saying here. But I'm saying, there's not a reason why I would say that to you. But there's a reason why, like, I might pretend to do something crazy because you violate me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would pretend to do something, but I would never say that. I think that's insane. I don't know who we're dealing with. We're dealing with, like, people in the emails through context of one thing. I don't know who we're dealing with here.
Exactly, which is why I don't necessarily want to focus on her situation. I want to talk about, like,
in hard seasons, how do you maintain the hope?
Yeah. Like, how do you keep hope alive?
It's hard
and
sometimes.
Is it even, like, I wonder if it's, like, some seasons, because I'm trying to think about my own situation, my own marriage. I don't know if I even had hope. I just kept going. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't necessarily have time to evaluate how to keep hope alive or if I had hope anymore. It was just one of those things where it was like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It was an endurance thing.
Yeah, I think that you were literally surviving.
Mm-hmm.
I will do something where I'll be like, I'm unhappy. Why am I unhappy? Because of this. Well, how can this not be a thing? And then I'll talk, and then we'll talk, and I'll be like, well, I guess it's just what it is. And then I'll be like, well, either I'm going to leave or I'm not. And I'm not going to leave, so I'm just going to lament and be like, God, what is you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you've shared before about how you suffer in silence.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about that season in this moment? Because I feel like that was like episodes and like 100, maybe, what episode are we on? Like maybe 100 episodes ago, you know? So like, can you share a little bit about what that looked like? Because I don't think I do a good job suffering in silence. If I'm suffering, you gonna know.
Well,
is that true?
Yeah, I think so. But I think that after I communicate something to you and you literally cannot see me, then it's like I can't continue to communicate. So, like, first I'll be passive aggressive, and then I'll just kind of operate as this is what it is, and then that's it. I just lower my expectations. What?
I'm trying to receive. I didn't know you were gonna end. So I'm trying to register what you just said.
Well, it's like, if we're walking together and you stop and I'm still walking, either I can wait for you or I can leave you, right? And so even though I know that I'm supposed to be, a little bit further than I am now, if you don't come with me, I can't go. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I refuse, like, I don't want to move forward in spaces and areas that, like, it's like if it's raining, right? Just imagine this. This is so stupid. I'm thinking of analogies now to help you understand. But say if it's raining and there's an umbrella that levitates and it moves on its own. In order to not get in the rain, we have to stay underneath the umbrella, right? But say if we're walking and I'm trying to stay underneath the umbrella and you're like, but I like the rain, right? And I'm like, we can't sit in the rain for too long because our socks are going to get wet. And I hate wet socks. You know what I'm saying? But you're like, yo, I think the rain might be cool for a season. And I'm like, no, we have an umbrella up here. Let's go to the umbrella. Like if you like rain, I have to like rain. And for a season, that's okay. And then sometimes it takes a while, but you'll be like, I don't like rain. You'll gonna be like, why am I in the rain? There's an umbrella. Why don't we just go to the umbrella? And I'm like, yeah, we should go to the umbrella. And we're like, okay, cool. We're in the umbrella.
You know what's so interesting? As you're speaking, I'm thinking like time is both a gift and a thief. You know, because I feel like so many times in our marriage, both of us have been given the gift of time to understand the other's perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, time has allowed us to like come back together, and it has also like robbed us of progress. You know? Like where we could potentially be further along.
But here's the thing about marriage.
What?
There is no progress if we are not together. Like,
and that's what I'm saying.
Like if I could be like, I could be successful on my own, 100%, and like be out here and be the man, 100%. But if I have to lose you in the process, then it's not worth it.
It kind of goes back to
That
desire versus idolization of success.
I don't think so. No. There's no idolizing success for me. Success is family for me. You know what I'm saying? But I know people who are kind of like, by any means necessary, you either catch up or you get left. You know what I mean? And so that's what it's like. For me, suffering in silence, it's so, but it's not like, it's not really suffering when you know the goal is to be with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lord, if it's like I'm suffering, but I'm only suffering because, you know, like during the times when like sex was really difficult for you. Like, only reason I was suffering was because I knew sex outside of you. You understand that? Like, but I couldn't move forward without you being along with that. You know what I'm saying? Like we were co-laboring, collaborating. You know what I'm saying? And so even with what we do now, there's a sense of me like needing you to be on board in order for me to move. You know, or at least trust me before I move forward. Right? That's important for me. And so that's what that looks like for me. But I don't think this couple, this lady is like, it depends on how long she's been dealing with this. But I understand these seasons of doubt in marriage. Yeah. Because if your therapist says it seems like you're on a slow progression toward divorce, that means people have things that they're unwilling to change about themselves. Yeah. And they're not willing to say, hey, I'm going to bend for you. Yeah. And the best thing I've learned about life in general is to be flexible. Like, I used to be real legalistic when we first got together.
Oh, my goodness.
Right? And now I'm kind of like, you know, before it was like, you got debt, we're not going anywhere. Throw your suitcase away, we selling it.
We need to pay off the debt. Throw it away.
We need to pay off this debt.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of like, man, we need to go on vacation. I don't know how much it costs. We'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Are you like that? I don't think you're like that. You're not fully there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
You're definitely not where you were. If I was like, this weekend, let's go to San Luis Obispo, you'd be like, no, why?
Well, that's because I don't want to go to San Luis Obispo. That's not a vacation.
Let's go to San Francisco.
I don't want to go there either.
Where you want to go? Where you want to go?
I don't want to go nowhere.
I'm trying to go somewhere and see.
Yeah. But it's not, I don't want to, it's not that I don't want to go anywhere because I'm cheap. I just don't really want to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I don't want to go anywhere.
I wish we could rewind the tape.
I'm just saying that I'd rather.
You're still the same person.
No, it's before it was like, we're not spending any money because we need to pay off debt. And if we don't pay off debt, then we're going to be in debt forever and we're not going to da-da-da-da. Like, I had like this gloom and doom type situation. Now it's like, yeah, like if we need to go somewhere, we can go.
But we need to.
Okay. But the question is always who's gonna watch the kids? And if we can't answer that situation, I'm not leaving my kids with just anybody. Right? That's a non-negotiable for me. So there's times I'm flexible and there's times I'm not flexible. Who watches our kids? I can't be flexible with that. Right? That's impossible for me because our kids are very important and should be protected. Anyway, yeah, I do think that there is seasons of life where marriage is more than hard. And I think that during that time when we weren't doing the podcast, we were definitely in our most unexplainable space. Like, we could not communicate to save each other, like nothing. You were saying one thing, and I was like, I get that, but this. And you were like, I was saying one thing, and you were like, that's fine, but this. And somebody was going to have to fold, and I folded. I ended up folding.
You feel like you folded?
Uh-huh. Maybe a bad choice of words, but...
What does it mean to fold?
To give in. It's a poker term. Bend, flexible, and relatively flat. Form or shape.
Fold is when a creator feels annoyed, disrespected, or surprised by a comment or situation. What?
No, that's a slang term. This fold is slang in poker. It's when you
So
fold your
that's
hand.
how I think of it.
You fold your hand.
Yeah.
Right.
So what does it mean to fold your hand?
Are you trying to? I'm telling you what I mean. I feel like you're looking for ways to be offended.
I am offended.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you what I mean. Take my words for what they are.
Ooh.
What?
Okay.
Is that wrong?
What do you mean?
I mean, I folded to what was best for us at the time.
Because when you said it, how I took it was like you just gave in. Like you just whatever. But I feel like if you're talking about what I think you're talking about, I feel like you got counsel and you were guided, like someone helped you see where I was coming from, and then you were better able to see it. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about something different?
No, I think that somebody was able to help me understand something I didn't understand, but at the same time, it's still not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You understand that? So there was a part of me like folding, forming, submitting, whatever, into what was best for the situation that I was dealing with. Now, I never would have needed to fold if I had my priorities straight in the beginning, right? So that's where I originally messed up. But I didn't have them, and so I ended up having to pay for it, and what it looked like was folding.
Okay. So hope.
What do you mean? So having hope in these dark times in your marriage, I think it's very difficult, but it's very understandable. Like, sometimes people just, they just off for a little bit.
You know what's interesting? Yeah, I think time would be, like the amount of time that you have been dealing with this would be helpful to gain some perspective. But I even think about what Michelle Obama said as far as like being married 30 years and 10 of those years were rough years, and how she would take those 10 out of 30 versus, the other way around. And my thing is because like for me, whenever I get into like really like hopeless times, I will do one of two things. I will start blasting my worship music 24/7. I will be spending so much time in my word. I'll be praying. I'll be seeking the Lord. in like different sermons or whatever the case may be. And I feel like I don't want to put a limitation or like minimize the impact of that and what it does. But after doing that for so long, the fatigue gets real deep if you aren't seeing any results. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just gets really hard. And so I feel like, oh my gosh, was it in 2021 where I was just like, I am tired. And it wasn't like the type of tired that you could lay down and take a nap and that would help. It was just like exhaustion. And it was because I felt like I was doing everything I was supposed to do and I still wasn't winning or successful or whatever. And so I'm not sure necessarily how I held on to hope, but I feel like it goes back to that quote that I heard yesterday. Was that yesterday? Where it says freedom comes with discipline. And so sometimes we just have to continue to love and do all the things that we know we're supposed to do. But at the same time, it's kind of like if this person is abusive, like emotionally abusive, that's an issue. And you shouldn't have to endure that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that, maybe this will help. Like maybe the premarital advantage may add value. You know what I'm saying? Because I think there's things that you want and that you're trying to get through to him and he cannot hear you, or vice versa. And one of you guys are unable to bend in this area. You know what I'm saying? I know for me, like when whenever like, I just shift or she shifts, like it's easier, I feel like, for the other person to help or see you. You know what I'm saying? When you just kind of like, all right, well, I'll do what I can. That's kind of been the biggest areas, I think, in like me seeing Yvette is like when I'm not hopeless is when Yvette goes, look, I don't understand this, but I'll try. Like that helps me see you. So yeah, it's just difficult, man. Marriage is not easy. And I speak to the last episode we were doing where the young lady was talking about how she idolized us for a second. And it's like, yeah, man, it's not simple. It's very, very challenging. It's hard work. And it's fun, you know what I'm saying? And beautiful and special and, all these things, But it is not easy.
Marriage be hard.
Yeah. Shout out to Kevin Melissa Fredericks.
Can you help me? Have I done anything for you?
You left me them cold eggs on the stove this morning.
This is me. I'm so married. I'm practicing controlling my tongue and not responding how I wanted to respond. How married are you, babe?
We were driving back from L.A. We were in a car. Now, I don't know if because my people from the Caribbean, so I don't know if somebody got some witchcraft or whatever up in them or something like that, or we got anything, but I did something. It was a spiritual attack on you.
Wait, what?
I did a spiritual attack on you.
Your Asian wives have been weird.
Please, with yours, what was yours? I'm so married, I held my tongue.
I practice self-control.
Anyway, I'm meeting you right now, so I can get my thing off before you interrupt me. Okay. So anyway, I'm sitting here, and we are at the worst place we ever could be. First of all, we went to the ghettoest place on earth. Do you remember that place?
Yes. Anaya said, "Mom, can we go for my birthday?" And I was like, "Girl, no.
We are never going back here, please." It's a chill. I'm not going to say what it is, but we went to the hood, and we didn't know we were going to the hood until we got to the parking lot. We were like, there's an awful lot of suspicious things happening in this parking lot, and then we get inside. So it was a Starbucks right there. And Yvette, every time she goes to Starbucks, it's the same script, okay? She gets to Starbucks. There's a little bit of like ointment or like some fluid on the outside. They didn't use this top right. It's always the same thing. So she's like, I really want to go to Starbucks. And I'm like, why? So you can complain about how they put the lid on? Because she always does it every single time.
Not this morning I didn't.
Okay. So we get to the Starbucks. Yvette's like, can I have medicine ball? 2 venti medicine balls or whatever. She orders it, and I grab hers, I give it to her, and I take mine and I put it in the thing. She grabs hers from the top. Now, usually at Starbucks, they double cup it and then put the little like warmer on there for your hands, but they only used 1 cup. Homegirl, we're driving off. Homegirl's tea pops off and spills all over whatever these tight pants she had on.
Scorching hot.
And it's like you could tell it hit her once on the outside and then got stuck inside. And she's like, cursing and like freaking out and screaming. And everyone's just listening. She's like, I'm sorry. No, stop the car. Help me. Help me. And it was all over the place. It was crazy.
Y'all, I don't think you have to really like, I feel like I have to be the one to tell a story because it literally spilt all over my lap.
Yeah.
My vagina is in my lap, y'all. It was
What? That is such a crazy statement. What do you mean your vagina's in
I'm
your
just
lap?
saying, like, can you imagine that heat on your penis?
Yeah, it's
that would hurt.
Yeah.
But you didn't seem to like, it was just.
I was driving a moving vehicle trying to get us back from LA. We were both tired. It was a long day. I was trying to get home.
Painful.
And Yvette's just sitting there and she's like up out of the seat, like screaming.
I didn't know what to do.
And she's like, help me. And I'm like, you sitting here cursing in front of Ebenezer Church, this title of God.
There wasn't Ebenezer Church.
And I'm holding this, the thing is she's screaming, and then we pull over, and then homegirl had to take off her freaking pants on the street.
I did. I took them off.
And her butt was all out. It was so crazy. And I pulled over and I got
Why
it safe.
Why are you telling my business?
And then like she was like freaking out, like trying to like be mad at somebody. The only person she could be mad at was us in Starbucks. Well, herself in Starbucks.
Why would I be mad at myself?
Because of the way you picked it up?
No, Starbucks is stupid.
Okay.
No, they should have, like, never in my life have I ordered a tea from Starbucks and it's only been in 1 cup. Every single time they have a second cup to solidify the sturdiness. And then when you look at the rim of the cup that they gave me, there was no way that me just picking the cup up like that would have made it fall like that. It was bent in and it didn't even have a grip. I was sabotaged.
So then she's like taking off her stuff and she's, I think I'm going to be burned. I need to go to the hospital. Like she was tripping. And then Bob Marley was on and I'm sitting there sipping my tea. I want to jam in with you. We're jamming. Like I was chilling, man. And I got us home safe.
You were listening to Bob Marley, you little island boy.
Yeah, but you turned it on in the beginning.
I did.
Because you wanted to play Don't Worry or Every Little Thing.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my gosh. We should have a not chocolate baby story time, but
like a married story time?
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what how married are you, man?
No, it's not, because I have stories.
Well, tell your stories and then try to make them applicable to something you did to me. Let's figure it out.
Wait, so what did you do for me in that scenario?
I stopped the car and I helped you because that thing was hot. I could have spilled it on me too. While I was driving over speed bumps, are you crazy? That was not dangerous for me.
I'm so married.
Okay.
That I took the cup that was sabotaged.
You didn't do that on purpose. And you know if you knew it was, you would have gave me the bad one. We know what this is.
And that's just how married we are.